Welcome to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes, where we take the history of the West off the rails.
If you like your history unhinged, you are in the right place.
I'm Shea.
And I'm Jody.
Let's fall down the rabbit hole.
Today, we're chasing a tale so bonkers it could only come from the Cold War. Ever wonder what happens when you give the CIA too much money, too much paranoia, and access to house cats?
Oh, no. Oh, no. What is this?
It's cats. Us crazy cat ladies I'm going to bring us a cat tale.
Very excited.
Not an actual T-A-I-L, but a T-A-L-E.
That works.
So buckle up because we're diving into Operation Acoustic Kitty.
What?
Yes, that was a real name. This is a true story of how America tried to turn a cat into James Bond.
What?
It's a true...
This is not real life.
Real story.
Is this real life?
So let's rewind to the 1960s. The Cold War is in full swing, and the CIA is convinced that every pigeon in Moscow is a KGB agent. They're desperate for ways to eavesdrop on Soviet officials, and somewhere in a smoke-filled boardroom, a man with a security clearance and a total lack of judgment says, you know what would work? A cat.
A cat. But for why? Why cat?
A spy cat. Because, I mean, they're the perfect animal, see?
I mean, they are the perfect animal. Yes, I agree with that statement.
So that's right. Cats. The animal that ignores you when you call it, destroys everything you love, and has zero sense of loyalty. Unless you're Doug. Remember I used to think that about cats until I got...
Yes, and then you're like, wow, this cat's the best thing ever. I love him so much.
Yeah.
I miss my cat.
Yeah.
I hear Jody saying, I miss my dog. I wonder if he's thinking about me.
He does. I'm sure if I turned on the camera and looked at him, he'd be so sad I was gone.
Aww.
Probably just sleeping though. But yes, cats, they thought, would be prime spy material. So enter Operation Acoustic Kitty. The plan, surgically implant a microphone in a cat's ear, a transmitter at the base of its skull, and an antenna that runs down its spine and into its tail.
Oh, that sounds terrible for the cat.
Right? That's a long distance. Like I'm picturing like
A
procedures I've done as a nurse, and I'm like, you tunnel that down there, like you got it. That hurts. That's not nice.
Well, I mean, it'd be subcutaneous, I'm sure, but still, like,
Yeah, they take a little thing and separate the tissue
Ooh.
before they put it down there.
Poor Kiki.
Yeah, right, all the way down. But you use lidocaine, so it's fine.
I'm sure the cat's very happy about that.
So basically, they made a living, purring wiretap.
Oh, good grief.
This is not a joke. This was an actual CIA project. So the agency drops cash, taxpayer money, by the way, into wiring up a cat like some kind of Cold War cyborg.
Oh, good grief.
They hire veterinary surgeons. Like, where's your ethics?
Right?
Sound engineers, and what I can only assume was a team of very confused interns.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. What are we doing here?
Right?
What is even happening here?
Does anyone know about cats here that's got this decision
Oh my God.
making level of authority? But here's the kicker. Cats, if you haven't met one, are not particularly trainable. The CIA geniuses that they are discover this after building a literal feline Frankencat.
Oh my God. It's like the Borg's cat. A Borg.
From
I'm sorry, you're not a Star Trek fan.
Yes, I was like, is this Alien or Star Trek?
You look so confused. You're like, I don't know these words that are coming out of your mouth, Shay.
Borg.
What's this nerd speak you got going on here?
They spend 5 years. Yes, 5.
5 years. Good grief. I wonder how many millions of dollars.
Trying to train this poor cat to follow audio cues, walk in straight lines, and not get distracted by shiny things like birds.
Right.
Which is like trying to teach a toaster to do calculus.
I mean, I have taught my cat to sit and shake for treats.
Oh, that is good.
And then I was like, let's start the next trick, which is I want to teach him to twirl. So I have him sit and then he shakes and then I give him a treat and then another treat and I go twirl. Well, I've got him to start the twirl, but halfway through he gets distracted and he forgets what he's doing.
Does he just walk away halfway through his twirl?
Well, he kind of looks confused and then rubs against my legs and then jumps up and tries to grab the treat out of my hands.
I did it. Now give it to me. But after all that effort, they don't give up. They decide to test it in the field. They're moving forward, even though none of the practice efforts worked out.
They're like, we got to see this thing to the end.
Right? I know.
We spent $30 million on this project. We got to go.
So the mission, send the Acoustic Kitty to eavesdrop on a pair of Soviet diplomats sitting on a park bench in Washington, D.C. Sounds simple enough. So they drive up, open the van door, and release the cat towards its target.
How does the cat know that's its target?
It probably doesn't matter.
Why?
Because within seconds, and I'm not even making this up, this is all factual information.
Oh my God.
Within seconds, it runs into traffic and gets flattened by a taxi.
Oh no, poor kitty.
Right?
Oh God,
what a
it's
life.
freaked out.
What a life. Right. Right.
You can't just release an animal into an unfamiliar territory and expect it to just be like.
You're picturing.
Do I
I'm picturing Washington D.C. and traffic and car. I mean, it's just heavy. Well, this is the 1960s, but still,
guys, poor cat. Also, that was probably a $30 million cat at that point.
So yeah, it was 5 years and millions of dollars. I didn't see an actual number, but
because it's the CIA and they don't want you to know how much money they're wasting on stupid crap like this.
I'm surprised we know any of this.
It's like the John C. Lilly and the dolphins that when the CIA funded him to go down to the Bahamas and give dolphins LSD to try to train them.
Oh, right.
Remember what they wanted them to go after submarines, enemy submarines.
Yeah.
Remember he had the research assistant jerk the dolphin off.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The moral of that story was don't jerk off the dolphin. Because it got sad and died by suicide later.
They get emotionally connected.
I know. Oh, my gosh. See, when the CIA meddles with animals, the animals die.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is don't let the CIA do anything that has to do with animals.
We should
keep the CIA away from animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so he ran into traffic.
So it was 5 years. It was 5 years, millions of dollars, one CIA van, and one dead cat.
Oh, man.
But according to one CIA agent, the mission was a complete failure.
No, you don't say.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually the next sentence in here. No shit.
Right.
Oh, beep.
No shaky. Is that a swear word? I don't know. Scheiße. Let's say it in German.
Yeah. Does that fly? It doesn't get censored? Ooh, we have a loophole.
I'm just going to say all of my swear words in German.
Yeah, loophole. But the CIA wasn't done being insane.
Oh, gosh. Never. They never are.
After the tragic roadkill incident, they allegedly tried to make the device smaller, lighter, more stealthy, and there's even talk that the device may have been implanted in other animals, including birds, dolphins, and, I kid you not, bugs. A bug and a bug.
They bugged a bug?
Yeah. But Acoustic Kitty was the OG, the first cat to die in the name of espionage. Years later, in 2001, the CIA declassified a document that finally confirmed the operation's existence. Though, in classic CIA fashion, it was heavily redacted.
Right.
So
details.
We get to know about this interesting thing, but not too many details, like probably the millions of dollars it took. I mean, 5 years on this. Still, the document called the project technically feasible, which feels a lot like calling the Titanic an ambitious boat. So what did we learn here? That maybe, just maybe, spying with cats isn't the move. That maybe nature's little murder fluff isn't meant to carry government secrets. And most of all, that in a Cold War, there really were no bad ideas, just bad outcomes.
Right. Oh, God,
crazy story.
So dumb.
It's so crazy that actually happened in our country. In 1960s, we aren't talking 1860s, you know what I mean?
Right.
We know better with cats.
But yeah, the Cold War was the era of like the CIA doing whatever it wanted, and it was doing a lot of weird things. I mean, we're talking about like MK Ultra time
yes.
You know, giving out, they're like, ooh, this LSD stuff is cool. Let's see what we can give it to.
A dolphin.
Right. Oh, God, yeah, that story. Wow. Poor cat. I wonder how many cats they butchered trying to.
Right. That's what I was wondering, too. They said one.
Because there would have been failures.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah.
And then practice. Like.
Right.
Did you ever see the thing where researchers put a collar cam on a cat and then like just tracked it for months about what it did? Like an outside cat? and it killed, it killed like an ungodly amount of birds and rodents in that time. So what they found out was that cats love to kill. Like they're really into murder.
Yeah. Yeah. They not even eat it.
Oh no, they just love to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it out.
And that's every time my
catch
cat
and kill. They want to catch and kill.
Yeah. Every time my cat is doing the chirpy thing at the birds, you know, I was like, he's just thinking how much he wants to just kill that bird. He just wants to murder it so much.
He's all giddy inside.
I know. But you look at their bodies. I mean, they're made for murder.
Yes. Yes.
They are the perfect predator.
Yes. That's my little Walter.
Oh,
that's how he gets by me all the time. Like, dude is sleek.
Yeah.
And even the other day when I went and got him out of the woods, he was on the rock path and his coloring, I was feet from him before I noticed him.
And he just froze.
Well, he was, because he's like, dang it, she's going to take me in.
If I'm really still, she won't be able to see me.
But he was like camouflaged.
Maybe she's a dinosaur. I can't see things if they don't move.
He just froze and was like, no, big ol' eyeballs.
Don't want to go in, Mom.
Like
I'm
it's dinner
busy
time.
Hunting. He's like, yeah, I was going to have dinner time out here.
I'm eating out tonight.
I'm dining al fresco. Oh my God. Well, I feel really bad for that poor cat.
I know. Abuse.
I know. That is abuse. That's terrible.
Even if the cat lived, that's abuse.
I know. Who's in charge of the CIA these days? What podcaster or Fox News agent is in charge of the CIA?
What 20-year-old idiot?
Right, or is he 20? Yeah. Experience. Worked in hamburger management at Wendy's. And then
that's management. That's good enough.
No, hamburger management means he was just flipping the hamburgers. He was in charge of the grill. Grill management. And that's enough to be the CIA director.
Well, John Ratcliffe.
Okay, what do we know about John Ratcliffe? Not that has anything to do with the story. He's really into supplements and working out, and that makes him qualified. So here's one from The Atlantic. Last week, CIA Director John Ratcliffe released a report that, by his account, finally reveals the whole story about one of the most closely scrutinized documents ever produced by American intelligence agencies. The CIA note, as it's officially called, is ostensibly an effort to learn lessons from the past, and it might never have been written absent Radcliffe's intervention. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Oh, it's about the allegations that Russia was trying to influence the 2016 presidential election. Now he's calling it a hoax.
Yes, that's a hoax. But Hillary's campaign absolutely went in and tried to get information on Trump's campaign. That is not a hoax.
Oh, CIA nominee Ratcliffe has a record of ignoring the law and misrepresenting basic facts. That is Wyden,
I believe that's a qualification.
Senator Wyden speaking out, opposing the nomination of him. I mean, it seems like in his cabinet today, if you are willing to ignore the law and misrepresent facts, that makes you highly qualified to hold a position in Trump's cabinet.
It's the highest qualification because that makes you someone who will do anything he wants you to do.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I think that who would be better qualified to run the CIA?
Ruff.
Walter. We should just let cats run the CIA.
There we go.
And then everybody would die because he'd be like, you know what we should do? Murder them. It would be assassinations everywhere. They'd be like, you know what? That guy hasn't done anything wrong, but we should still murder him because it would be fun.
Today, I think I'm just going to go get one and toss it around a bit before I murder it.
Yeah. Any head of
I'm going to let it run.
Let's murder
it. I think it's free. I'm going to get it again.
Oh, my God. So our cat, Suki, was this beautiful Seal Point Siamese when we lived in Enumclaw. And so we had 5 acres, big fields and stuff. And I would watch her out on the lawn. She would grab a vole or a mole. I don't know. It was a little burrowing rodent. Anyway, she would toss it up in the air. And then when it came down, she would step on its tail with her paw.
Yes.
And then she would just sit there and kind of look around.
Yes, they're evil.
And then she would lay down on it and hang out for a while. Yes. And then she would sit up and act very surprised when it ran out from under her. And then she would just do that again. She would do this for like an hour.
Yes.
She was having the best time torturing.
Time of her life. I know, torturing. They don't just murder, they torture.
For fun.
I know it's funny that we can trust them and I'm not worried about them doing things to us because they are quite devious.
I know. Well, if you ever die in the house, trust that they will eat your face at some point.
Even if they love you?
Yeah, they'll eat your ears and your nose probably first.
What if my cats never eat anything but their cat food? They don't even like human food. Will they still eat a human face?
If they're starving, yeah.
I suppose if they're starving.
Especially if you start rotting and smelling like something delicious. Mm-hmm. And on that bright note, okay, well, thank you for that.
Rotted face.
That is definitely a summer silly season story.
Very silly.
Even with the murder.
Except for that it's true, but it's silly but true.
And disturbing but true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
Silly story. Silly summer. Yep.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning into Rainy Day Rabbit Holes. We appreciate your continued listenership and support. And hey, if you want to support us even more, we could really use a little bit of financial support these days. You can join our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you get access to bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, and other perks. Like, in fact, one of our patrons is coming out to meet us today. We are currently recording from my little camper, or caravan, as they say in the UK. And one of our listeners I've become friends with, and she's actually coming out to meet us. So you get sometimes fun perks like that. Not saying that you get to become friends with us. No, I'm going to cut that off.
Shay's selling her friendship on the page.
Cutting that all. I'm cutting that. That just sounds weird. That sounds like the great perks are that you get to see us in person. I'm cutting that.
If you're the highest level subscriber, you get to spend the night in my bed.
Oh my God. I'm keeping that one.
Said Shay.
No, you get other great perks like pictures of Jody's cleavage. Though we don't know if it's her cleavage or if it's her elbow cleavage.
Yeah.
You get to guess. No, I'm just kidding. She's not selling any pictures of anything. Maybe feet.
Maybe feet.
We might put a foot picture up in the Patreon.
I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be a big foot picture, though.
My foot's really hairy and large.
Yes. Looking at them right now, they're disgusting. I want to throw up a little bit.
It's so gross. Can you smell them?
Absolutely. Foul.
It's that
a little bit like old cheese.
Yes, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Old cheese. That comes from the toes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media. And hey, if you have a moment, you could leave us a rating and a review. Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star rating. And then on Apple Podcasts, you can actually leave us a nice review. It'd be nice because we just read a very terrible review where somebody said we were boring and pointless. So we'd like a nice review to wash that out of our mouth. Also, she said, they said they don't like museums. No wonder they only have 16 Patreon members. This was months ago. I was like, all right, do you have any Patreon members, lady? Her name was probably Karen. I don't know. Anyways, all right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. And not working.
See you down the rabbit hole.